A few days ago, I opened up a letter that completely changed my financial future. After carrying $107,000 in student loan debt for years, I found out that my student loans have officially been dismissed. Yes. And honestly, I really can't believe that I am saying that out loud. So if you have been following my journey, I want to share with y'all exactly what happened, how I got there, and what this means for my future. Hey y'all, I'm James Etta, just call me Jamie. Welcome back to a real life, no script, where we figure out this thing called life together. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. All right, y'all. So for those of you that don't know, I had over $107,000 in student loan debt. And like many people, I went back to school so that I could have a better life. I wanted more opportunities to try to make more money. I wanted to get a better position, but the debt always was something that was in the back of my mind. And even when I'm not thinking about the debt, I'm thinking about the student loan debt. Because when it's time to buy a house, or you're thinking about buying a house, you start thinking about the student loan debt. You start thinking about saving money. You start thinking about retirement. And then that debt always becomes part of the conversation. And I had to end up taking out this loan when I went back to school to get my master's degree, because I didn't have any more GI Bill, and I ended up going with the VRNE program. But the VRNE program, which is a program that is offered to veterans, only paid for my bachelor's degree. So when I wanted to go back for my master's degree, I was on my own. So I took out, within that time frame while I was going for my master's degree, it was like over $107,000 that your girl took out. And that is a lot alone to carry. Like, somebody can buy a house or something with that amount of money that I took out for my student loans. Like, when I say them student loans was always in the back of my mind, those student loans was always in the back of my mind. Now, if you don't know, I am a 100% disabled veteran, and with being a 100% disabled veteran, you learn about different programs that are offered to you and that you might qualify for. So I ended up just gathering up my paperwork. I submitted everything to the total and permanent disabled through the federal student loans, and I just had to sit there and wait. Now, when you become a 100% disabled veteran, the VA is supposed to send your paperwork automatically to federal student loans if you have any student loans. But once I became a 100% disabled veteran, I went ahead and gathered my own paperwork, because when you become a 100% disabled veteran, they send you a packet and they tell you, okay, you qualify for this. Like, you qualify for a license plate. You qualify for not having to pay taxes on this. And when I saw that I'm eligible for total and permanent discharge of my student loans, I took advantage of that. Yes, I did. I ended up gathering my paperwork, and like I said, I went ahead, submitted that paperwork to the federal government. I want to say I submitted it in April. Yeah, I submitted it in April, and I'm just now hearing back like a week ago. So yeah, it's been probably about 2 months since I submitted the paperwork, and I'm going to tell you, they move pretty quickly. It's a little process, but they move pretty quickly. And if you ever dealt with the government, you know when it comes to paperwork or student loans, you know that waiting is sometimes the hardest part, because let me tell you, I would go in and just check and to see if, they process the paperwork or approve the paperwork, because my student loans were through NailNet. And I will tell you, NailNet can be a pain. They can be a pain when it comes to, student loans. They were my provider of the student loans. So I had to you have to go through them, and then, you got to go through the government, and then you got to go through NailNet, and after you fill out the paperwork and it gets dismissed, then they send it to NailNet to clear it on their end. And when I said, y'all, I was checking like maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, I was checking. And then once I saw that I was approved, I was like, my God. So basically all I had to do was just wait for the letter in the mail. And I received that letter in the mail a week ago. And when I say your girl is happy, like your girl is happy, extremely happy, because that's one less debt I have to worry about, because I'm trying to get things in order on my side and get my finances in order. And like I said, there were times where I wondered if I even submitted the paperwork correctly. And then, like I said, I finally received that letter, and that was one of the happiest moments of my life. I'm not gonna lie. That was one of the happiest moments in my life. Because when I opened that letter and I read that letter, that was just basically a big weight lifted off my shoulder. I'm like, okay, this is one of the things I wanted to accomplish, because I was setting myself up to be like, let me get ready to start back paying these student loans. Let me find a way to tackle this down, because I eventually want to buy another house. And like, that's one less debt I had to worry about. And I was already starting to put in my mind, like, how am I tackle this? Because my student loans were in forbearance. And I'm like, yeah, I need to tackle this, like get focused and really tackle this. Now that this chapter is behind me, I'm thinking about like my future, what's next. And one of the things that I've already done was, pulled my credit score to see if I need to, pulled my credit report to see if I need to clean up anything else off my credit report. And I also opened a Roth IRA so I can really go hounding and start investing, saving money in, because I started thinking about more about like retirement and building wealth for my future and my children's future. And I also have goals of really building, because I have a number in my head of what I want to build for my emergency fund, and I really want to hound in on that and just continuing my real estate journey, because I'm still waiting to hear from PSI when it comes to updating my score, and trying to grow my YouTube channel, which is growing slowly, but it's growing. And then eventually becoming a homeowner again, because I've owned a house before, which I sold that house and moved out here to Georgia. But I want to own like another house and more properties. So that's been my focus as of lately. And for the first time in a long time, I can really like hound in and focus on my future, instead of constantly just looking at the debt. This experience has reminded me that sometimes progress takes time, and sometimes things just don't happen overnight. But if you keep on moving forward, those small steps that you are taking will add up. And if you ever dealt with, student loans, financial stress, or a burden that felt impossible to overcome, let me know in the comments. Your girl would love to hear your story. Thank you for being a part of this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.